Hey you're super. Hey everyone, Merch Hunter Ricky, and I just wanted to start talking about One Piece Chapter 1068 and Egghead Island arc as a whole. I believe it started back in Chapter 1060, and since the arc started, it genuinely has not stopped hitting us with either lore bomb or impactful scene after impactful scene. I would say so far out of this entire arc, my favorite reveal, and I know it's kind of corny, most people already knew this was going to happen, but Bonnie being Kuma's daughter, and the panel where she was like, please don't hurt my daddy. That was just really like peak Oda. I don't know if maybe something in his life happened to where he saw one of his kids not want him to get hurt because he maybe hit his head on something. I don't know. But I love that panel. Beautiful work, Oda. Beautiful work. So chapter 1068 takes a dramatic turn. We all knew it was coming. CP0 was coming onto the island, but we get a lot of stuff confirmed. I mean, Vegapunk being able to replicate Paramecia and Zoan-type devil fruits. I mean, it's only a matter of time before we get someone who can be a Logia replicated. And I believe that will come with the reveal of S Crocodile if we get him. So at some point in the chapter, and this isn't going to be like a panel by panel review, it's not going to be an in order review, we're just going to talk about Egghead Island and how much it rules. So let's get 1068 out of the way. I really like how Sentomaru has been brought back into the fold. I know it was like the grayed out image of him, so we don't really know if he's there on the island or if he's coming to the island or if he's just on a further sector of the island. Moreover, we don't know where his allegiances lie. I mean, if I remember right, when he first fought Luffy, I don't think he said he was down to fight him, but it was his job to fight him, So there's that. I genuinely am worried, honestly. If Sentomaru gets a hold of the Seraphim, and he's been promised 3 of them, he's literally gotten control of 3 of them. S Shark, Jinbei, S Snake, Boa, Hancock, and S Hawk, obviously Mihawk. Now, we don't know if S Snake and S Hawk have devil fruit powers. Most likely they do. There's a chance that we saw them in action back on Amazon Lily that was just to give them a test run, because they already knew just how strong those Seraphim were without the devil fruits. Now, we did have Seraphim 4 shown inside of a tube. We don't know who it is. Jinbei was in front of the tube, the test tube. We don't know if that was his incubator or not. There was a 98% mark at the top of it, so that brings a lot of questions. Is he 98% complete? Is the Seraphim inside that tube rather 98% complete? We don't know. Sorry. That brings so many different questions into the fold. Now, are Sentomaru and those Seraphim going to be enough to stop CP0? Will they even stop CP0? Because if CP0, Sentomaru, and 3 Seraphim then challenge the Straw Hats, that would be something. Now, that is a circumstance I can get behind, because just like everyone else is saying, I do not see Lucci beating Luffy. Now, as of right now, the circumstance is that he just destroyed Atlas with a 6 King gun right to the face, and she is still alive, but she is on the ground with half her face cracked and smoking. Not only this, but Luffy is about 100 feet away from them when they meet. Lucci is standing over the destructed body of Atlas, and we all know what happens to people who give Luffy food. So, or who get hurt. You know what I mean? Sorry, I tripped up over my words. We know what happens to people who literally befriend Luffy, give them food, and he watches someone hurt them. That someone gets effed up. Not only this, but this is someone Luffy does not like already. So we have a big fat problem in front of us in the form of Rob Lucci hurting Wrath Atlas. Is that going to make Luffy drop Bonnie, hand Bonnie over to Chopper, hand Bonnie over to Jinbei, and he'll say, I'll take it from here? Is he immediately going to go into Gear 5? These are all some good questions, and we don't have a break this week, so we're going to get our answer. Watch next chapter start with the rest of Law vs. Blackbeard. But, everything that's happened in Egghead Island is amazing. I watched a video by Mr. Morge a little bit ago, and sometimes I agree with him, sometimes I don't. This time, I think he really hit the nail on the head by saying that the pacing and the removal of unnecessary characters is really helping the plot just boom, slap and go right into our faces, right into our brains. Like Vegapunk's brain. His big old devil fruit having ass brain. I just genuinely enjoy the fact that this is how Oda is probably going to keep going forward from here on out. We're probably just going to get banger after banger after banger. Every chapter since 1058 has been amazing. Like, very good stuff. The reveal of the Cross Guild and everything after that was fantastic. But the start of Egghead Island, I kind of was immediately drawn to it the minute they showed Lilith and that big old Vega Force 1. Frankie is my favorite character, and even I didn't think that this was going to be a Frankie-centric arc. Now, I'm not hating on people that did, and we don't know about the rest of this arc, but it has not been a Frankie-centric arc at all. He took the forefront in a few panels, for sure, but not necessarily enough to say this is his arc. I would say that this has been Robin's arc. I would say that this has been Luffy's arc, because with Vegapunk interacting with Luffy, I'm talking old man Vegapunk, him interacting with Luffy on the level he has been fantastic. Like how in this chapter he was telling Luffy his dream, and Luffy was like, I don't care. That's nice. I like that, bro, but I don't care. Oh yeah, you can join my ship because I like your weirdo head. You know, that's classic Luffy. He's, there's a reason why he doesn't want to be a hero, and it's not just because it's sharing meat. I think Grand Line Review said it today that he doesn't want responsibility, which honestly, that's fine. I think it's going to come to a point though where Luffy might end up, solving the problem of the world government beating down Emu and Dragon gets the credit or something like that. I would really like that. But for now, what we're looking at is the potential of a crazy new arc on our hands, because after Egghead Island, what are we going to do? Are we going to Elbaf? Are we going to Dragon? Are we going to start something completely new and then end up in Elbaf? Like, honestly, the frontier has never been more mysterious, and I am so with it. Since Law has been introduced into the story as an ally of the Straw Hats in Punk Hazard, things were very set in stone. We were told where we were going just about every step of the way. But that doesn't make the story any less good. I loved all those arcs. Dressrosa was phenomenal, albeit a little slow. Zoe, probably one of my favorite arcs in the series, although it didn't have what a lot of people expect out of an arc. Wano, phenomenal stuff, just a little bit too long. Too many plot points brought up not to get brought back up. And we don't want to wait another 20 years for reveals. So, I'm in the camp that Big Mom and Kaido are still alive somehow, and Big Mom manipulated the lava into some weird-ass homie. That's just my idea. But as the arc stands right now, I want to say thank you, Oda, for giving Robin that outfit. Sorry. And I want to say that your vision of women's clothing in the future is weird as hell, but oh well, that's fine. I genuinely am enjoying this arc more than I've ever enjoyed an arc before, I believe. I've stated on this channel many times, my favorite arc is Fishman Island. I plan to do a whole video on that, but that's neither here nor there. What we have right now at the end of 1068 is crazy. Also, the implication of Vegapunk just sinking CP0 ships one after another as they come to the island is hilarious. Although it begs the question, is that why Vegapunk is saying he's gonna die because he's been a fucking goofy goober and he's just over here assaulting the CP0 ships one after another, knowing what would happen? I mean, it makes sense though. If CP0 or if CP5 came to the island first and was like, we'd like a progress report, Vegapunk, and they go down to his lab and they're like, what is that? And he's like, oh, don't worry your pretty little head over it. Please just go back and tell the government what you saw. It's fine. And then wham, sinks them. Whoops. CP7, CP8, and there's no CP9 right now. So they all followed suit. Now, sending CP0 here might have probably been a goofy mistake on the government's part too, because they didn't anticipate the Straw Hats showing up. And as usual, you can't really anticipate that happening. But Unfortunately, that's what the world government is going to have to deal with now. Now, what we need to ask ourselves next is Emu just going to annihilate Egghead Island with that laser beam, or does that thing take a couple months to charge up, or a couple years, or whatever? Maybe it was a power that she can only use every once in a while. A lot of people are saying that it's the ancient weapon Uranus. I can't really argue against that. I personally do not think so, and I will probably eat those words. But personally, I think that either she has a devil fruit that allowed her to do some crazy shit like that, or she has a different weapon parading it as the ancient weapon Uranus. Now, I'm probably wrong, but what Egghead Island has brought back to the series is a sense of adventure that we haven't felt in a long time. Because to me, Wano didn't feel like an adventure per se. It felt like a mission. The only part of Wano that I was truly like enamored with, outside of like the final moments of the raid and Law and Kid vs Big Mom, because that's my favorite fight in all of Wano. I know Luffy vs Kaido is amazing and most people's go-to, but I personally felt a little bit let down with Kaido in general, and that fight was phenomenal and great, but not my favorite fight by a long shot. Law and Kid vs Big Mom, although it, like, I think Dak Sake said it best, like that it made zero sense in how they kept saying, oh, our powers are gonna get gassed, should we keep using our awakenings, / they proceed to use their awakenings over and over again, and the only inkling of tiredness they get from it is like one panel where they're like, it wasn't like the greatest idea, but it did lead to a really awesome fight. So that's my thoughts on that. But what we have right now is, like I said, a renewed sense of adventure, a new sense of mystery and intrigue that the series hasn't had since before Dressrosa, unfortunately. I'm just going to say it like that. But that not to say that One Piece has fallen off, because it has not fallen off at all. It's been doing pretty great, in my opinion. Egghead Island has proven that Oda has been planning to connect dots for a very long time and either got lost along the way or this was his plan the whole time. Either way, that's fine with me. I really like where we're going right now, and I'm very happy with where we're going right now. What 1068 did in a nutshell is show that CP0 is not backing down or messing around, and that's completely fine. That's what we need in a villain. Stussy, for some reason, has some sort of history with Egghead Island, which I'm sure will unpack a whole can of worms. Or she's just been there before on mission. It could be something simple as that. She's been there before. But the fact that she knew who Atlas was already was interesting. But that's not that interesting, given that Kaku had a whole poster of all of their bodies leading to the Stella body. So it's not like they were uneducated heading there. Except for Stussy clearly has a lot more experience there, because she explained the grid and everything after Kaku got beat up, which pissed off Lucci a little bit. Who knows? Maybe that's just a group quirk interaction they have going on, but all in all, that chapter was a flying banger. I genuinely hope Jinbei never loses the Hawaiian shirt. It's so Jinbei, it's so good. But I really hope that we get Lucci vs. Luffy and like more than 5 panels of it at least. 5 pages of it at least. We need like a solid bout. And if it's not going to be them, I hope it's just because Luffy keeps holding on to Bonnie. I said before in either 1066 review or 1067 review that I really hope that we get Wrath fighting some of the CP0 members, and I got my wish, albeit not the outcome I wanted. It was an outcome I expected, though. So I am happy about that. All in all, fantastic arc, start to finish. We got introduced to Lilith. We got introduced to more Vegapunks. We saw the island itself. We got the lore bomb drops one after another. The ancient kingdom from 900 years ago. The robot attacking Mary Joie. The fact that Vegapunk and Dragon have a connection that dates back to a couple months after what happened on Ohara. The fact that Saul is still alive. The fact that there is a source of energy out there that's so potent that it can last almost seemingly eternally. And it's called an eternal flame, I guess. What we need now is some answers like, what are the Lunarians important for? Why were they persecuted the way it seemingly that they were? Why is King the last one? Why was he on Punk Hazard? Why was Kaido on Punk Hazard? We see that they were able to manipulate Kaido's gene factor, or at least Vegapunk was, and make a almost perfect replication of the Devil Fruit, although it's pink, and that caused him to break his head on the floor. honestly, just thinking of that panel is hilarious. I really like watching Vegapunk be a dork. I like dorks. I'm a dork. I'm not an intelligent dork like a super intelligent dork, but I like to say that I like to read and be a little bit more knowledgeable than the average Joe. And I feel like a lot of people should be. I hope Vegapunk brings the light to Luffy, saying like, hey buddy, you should get a little bit more educated. But also I don't want Luffy to ever change, you know? Like how Robin is extremely educated and Frankie is extremely educated, and every time they try to have like a knowledge sesh with Luffy, they're just like, never mind. And it's only been like 2 or 3 times in the series, like when back in Fishman Island, Luffy and Frankie's trying to explain to Luffy the process with meeting Tom's brother and all that, and Luffy just completely botches it, and Frankie's like, whatever kid, that's fine. And then Robin at the end of Wano explaining like, hey Luffy, there's a lot of people connected to you going through some shit. Right now we got Vivi, Sabo, to name a few, and I forget the third. I had a video idea for it and I completely lost my notes for that, but I'll find it and I'll make the video. But essentially, a lot of people connected to Luffy are suffering right now. And although that's not the best thing, it seems almost calculated. Oh, Law and Kobe. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, Vivi, Sabo, Law, Kobe, all people who've had intricate dealings with Straw Hat Luffy are now all muddled up in different situations. We don't know the whereabouts of Vivi. We don't know the whereabouts of Sabo, or if he was so close to Lulusia that he got hurt in that attack. Law is about to get packed up by Blackbeard. I'm calling it now. If he wins, I genuinely think that will damage Blackbeard's reputation so hard, or push Blackbeard into doing something very dangerous. Either way, we got good stuff to eat with. And then finally, Kobe. Now, Randy Choi has popularized this theory, and a lot of people are hopping on the bandwagon, and I love that. Randy Choi is my guy. I genuinely think, like Randy Choi says, Law is implicated with Sword, or part of Sword, or has something to do with Sword. It could be through X Drake, or it could have been all the way back through Sengoku. Who knows? Randy Choi probably knows. But, you know, all I'm saying is, what we have right now is a web of stuff messing up, all leading to Kobe. Now, I don't know how Vivi and Kobe would end up being connected, but I have a good idea that if Vivi and Kobe were to ever meet, they would be the synthesis to stopping the beef between pirates and the Navy. Now, I forgot who popularized that idea, saying that Luffy's dream is to make pirates and the Marines friends. Maybe that was Parvision, I'm not too sure. But I do like that idea, and it's a fantastic idea. What Egghead Island has done for the series, again, I'm going to say it one last time before signing off, it's renewed the sense of mystery, intrigue, and adventure all in one. The next arc is seemingly confirmed to be Elbaf, or it's going to be like a very quick synthesis arc of either the wrap-up of Law and Blackbeard, the whereabouts of Kobe, and how Charlotte Pudding is going to come into play in all this, or we're just going straight to Elbaf is my guess. I genuinely love this arc. Egghead Island has been doing so much for everyone. Arguably the most for Robin, but at the same time, Luffy actually has had a little bit more of like main character feels as of late. I know in Wano he had main character feels out the ass, but since Egghead Island started, it felt like this was a Bonnie chapter, or this was a Bonnie arc. This was going to be a Frankie arc, like everyone was saying. Vegapunk has taken the forefront of this arc for damn sure. CP0 has taken the forefront of this damn arc. But I think this is when we're going to see Luffy finally realize like what it means to like truly be a captain, more so than he already has. I genuinely think Luffy's about to step into the shoes of a Garp or a Dragon, knowing that the world government is just too fucked up to be stopped right now. And it's going to take a lot of moving parts of different organizations, Sword, the Revolutionaries, these pirates, the Grand Fleet, and not to mention the fourth faction that nobody's talking about right now, Big News Morgan's acting on his own, and those news dudes. That's a big deal. That will single-handedly change the way that information is passed down from now on. Will Big News Morgan side with the pirates or the Marines? Just because he's turning in wanted posters still does not mean that he's truly on the side of either or. So that'll be good. I'm kind of running out of things to say, so I'm going to leave it here. I've been Merch Hunter Ricky. If you came to this chapter review, I very much appreciate it. Thank you, and have a good one. And as always, like and subscribe to be part of the merch hunting tribe, and if you want to watch another video, I got one.